Hello once again, and welcome back to another episode of Movie Deputy Reviews, where we are interrogating a movie that has been getting quite a bit of buzz lately. Now, mind you, this is a movie back from 2020, but it's still been getting a lot of attention recently because of the movie that it is and who was the author of this movie. Well, this movie was actually authored by somebody who's been in the media quite a bit lately, and so you may be wondering who that is. Well, the person that authored this story was actually J.D. Vance. So I'm sure you recognize that name, so whether it be in a good way or a negative way. But this movie, the book that he wrote is called Hillbilly Elegy, and it was picked up by Netflix and made into a movie in 2020. So you may be wondering, okay, where am I going with this? Now, well, it all depends on what you thought of what happened yesterday. So are you happy about the news? Are you sad about the news? I just want you to ponder on that for a little bit, and I want you to take a chance on a movie such as this, especially if you have Netflix. Will be something that will definitely give you an insight. We have been hearing for months prior to yesterday about how one candidate is like, I grew up in the middle class, and then we have one candidate who was a very successful businessman, and we have another candidate, or one of the candidates of the presidency, who was a less than successful person of a particular state, and then we have another one of the candidates that this movie is actually about, and it has to do with tarot. Come on. But it has to do with the fact that he grew up in basically poverty level conditions. And this is his story. This is his story of growing up in Patero. He didn't grow up in Patero. He grew up in Tennessee. But this is his life. And it shows from a young age he had to deal with the fact that his mom was addicted to drugs. And she was trying to still support her family. And her mom ended up stepping in and really had a big part of raising JD. But this is that story of JD's life from a very young boy on up to when he was starting his own career, and all of the highs and lows that went through that. I can't go into too much detail without spoiling parts of this for you, but it was not an easy life. It was not an easy situation. And that's one of the reasons that he is so passionate about why he approaches people the way he does. And the way that he does that is a lot of it's based on how he grew up. And I don't know, it's so relatable on so many levels. Even if you never lived this life, you can relate with parts of this story because we all know people like this. So it's so hard to want to, but Terrell, please stop. He is just being a pain in my butt today. I love him dearly, but he is just grr. So he is just a silly, silly boy. And like I said, I'm trying to think how to put it without, let's just say there's a funny line in the movie. And it's basically relating to the fact that he comes from a Polish family. And it says, Poles like to bury their dead with their asses out of the ground so they have someplace to park their bikes. So there's humorous moments in this. There's very serious moments in this. There's emotional moments in this. There's laughable moments at this. And there's moments that will have you on the edge of your seat. It's not this big blockbuster type movie. I'm glad it was made by Netflix because something like this may have bombed a bit in the theater. But I'm glad that they did this the way that they did. And because of that, I am giving Hillbilly Elegy a 6 out of 10 on the deputy scale. So regardless of your feelings of how yesterday went, I am hoping that you will give this movie a chance if you happen to have Netflix. And as always, I love to hear the feedback. So this one's actually going to be kind of short today because, like I said, I can't really go into a whole lot of details about the movie without spoiling it because there's such poignant moments throughout this movie that even telling you about them is going to ruin something about how the story is told. But I can say that everybody in some way or another will relate with this movie. So I hope that you know which buttons to push if you always want the latest and greatest movie deputy content. I hope that however yesterday went is a way that you find a way to keep fighting for what you believe in and go from there. So, as always, I will be back soon, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.